a member of Al-Qaeda. If you're a member of Al-Qaeda, you're a terrorist.
How do you know if that they're members of these gangs?
Never been skirted. This is another fake news canard. When an organization is designated by the Secretary of State as a foreign terrorist organization, every single stinking member is a terrorist by U.S. law. This is why Politico is a joke. This is why you are gutter press and fake news. That those four symbols that just happen to comport with the letters MS and the numbers 13 don't, in this case, represent MS-13. You're sitting here live defending a member of MS-13. That's why I regret coming here, because this isn't journalism. This is protecting those who hate America. Shame on you. We are saving lives.
Sir. Guys, the fake news keeps getting cooked. What's up with these cookings all week of the fake news? They've been getting destroyed because you got Dasha Burns over here. She used to work for fake news NBC. Now she works for Politico. These people should really thank Donald Trump for these job opportunities they got, because Dasha became the White House correspondent for Politico, leaving NBC after Trump was elected. Probably wouldn't have happened if it was just Joe Biden or Kamala Harris getting elected. I'm just saying. But anyway, you got this guy, Sebastian Gorka. He's the director of counterterrorism under President Trump. And this guy is absurdly based. This is probably, I mean, this guy is like maybe Stephen Miller level, maybe even more based than Stephen Miller. Take a look at this clip of how he talked to fake Tapper for trying to quote the Washington Post.
Washington Post reported that the freeze on U.S. foreign assistance in Africa, are you concerned about them at all?
Is that the same Washington Post that propagated the Russia-Russia collusion hoax for the last 8 years?
Well, regardless of the Russia...
No, not regardless. You're quoting the Washington Post to me. I really couldn't care less what the Washington Post or the New York Times says, especially when it's anonymous government officials. If it's true, put your name to it. If it's not, shut up.
Or another clip where he destroys, I don't know, some other pro-Palestine woke behind journalist. I don't know what network this guy's from.
Why can't you talk about genocide in Gaza? And is that the same with all of the Trump?
Because there isn't any genocide in Gaza. There is no such thing as Palestine. Do you know what the etymology of the word Palestinian is? It was a name invented by the Roman Empire.
Yeah, the problem is it's an impartial interlocutor. You know that is not shared by the rest of the world. The rest of the world disagrees with you, so you're going to be you're going to be again.
I'm glad you talk for the rest of the world. I'm glad you talk for the rest of the world. You mentioned the word hubris.
It's the United Nations General Assembly resolution.
My God! Oh, the United Nations that sends people in blue helmets to rape little girls in Africa. Why did I not listen to the United Nations? What a clown show, really? As far as I'm concerned, the United Nations could be pushed into the Hudson, okay? What have they done to solve anything of late except create child prostitution rackets in Africa?
Just finally, tell me, what do you think of the UN pick? What do you think of the US?
You really represent the world. The world has this opinion. Who are you to say you represent the voice of the world?
We'll have to get you on again to talk more about the cabinet positions.
Who are you? Really? Unbelievable.
But he wasn't done. Apparently, this is how this guy is. It wasn't a fluke, because Dasha Burns got completely roasted. It wasn't enough for her to get embarrassed by Vivek Ramaswamy in another video I posted a while ago back when he was running for president. But for whatever dumb reason, Politico and Dasha decided to invite this guy, Sebastian, onto some sort of program that they had where they were interviewing him. It did not go well for them. Let's get into this.
Do you believe it's okay to skirt due process?
Never happened. Due process has never been skirted. This is another fake news canard. The fact that so let me be clear here, okay? Let me be clear. When an organization is designated by the Secretary of State as a foreign terrorist organization, every single stinking member is a terrorist by U.S. law.
Yeah, and the courts don't get to decide, well, we don't think he's a terrorist, so he has to stay. That's not how the executive branch works. The judicial branch actually has no authority over that at all. Like, that just is what it is. And does that mean that the United States could technically try to say, well, random person, you're a terrorist and we're going to do something about it? Yes, that is literally what it means. Even if you say, well, what about the Constitution and U.S. citizen rights? That's what it means, but especially what it means if you are a foreigner. You don't have the constitutional rights with the exception of due process if you're being accused and held accountable in criminal court and being prosecuted. That's what it's for. It's not for, well, you can't deport us unless you do due process. The Constitution don't say nothing about none of that.
Need for them to be adjudicated as a terrorist. Also, are you really hissing? What kind of a child are you? We're trying to save lives and you're hissing. Go back to high school and play spitball with your friends.
Wow.
What absolute
Spitball?
children.
I've never played spitball before.
You've never used spitballs? Well, maybe not in Ukraine.
No spitballs in Ukraine.
So the fact is, when you have people, I looked at Politico's coverage. Politico used the Maryland father fake news. Maryland father, twice adjudicated by an immigration judge to be here illegally and to be deported. An individual who's arrested on body cam footage, anyone watching right now can watch him being stopped by local police with 7 illegals in his vehicle and no driving license. An individual involved in human trafficking who beat his fiancée. And this is a Maryland father for Politico. You don't need and you don't get the due process if you're a member of a terrorist organization.
Well,
Next, you'll be
some
saying,
judges, including those appointed by President Trump, disagree.
well, so what? Could they be wrong? Could a judge possibly be wrong? Maybe.
Well, that's why we have the process, and this is likely
No.
going to go up to the
You're
Supreme
not
Court.
listening. If you are a terrorist of an FTO, it's not a traffic ticket. You don't go to county court. You're a member of a federally designated terrorist organization. It's really that simple. If you're a wife beater and a human trafficker, goodbye.
Abrego Garcia case aside, in the interest of getting folks that you believe are
It's not a
bad
question of
actors.
belief. So again, why are you saying belief?
Because
So
the media,
let's go back to
haven't been
this.
given a
Is
lot of evidence.
110,000 deaths?
This lady just said we haven't been given a lot of evidence. Wow. We haven't been given a lot of evidence. You got countless court documents. I'm sure there's documents we haven't seen. You got the tattoos that mean MS-13. You have informants telling you this person's MS-13. The guy is hanging out with other members of MS-13 on numerous occasions that are also confirmed members of MS-13. You have 2 judges saying is they're MS-13. The local police and gang unit are saying they're MS-13. The El Salvadorian president. How much evidence do you need? These people are basically saying you can have 100 items of evidence, but it's not definitive enough. Like, I'm gonna tell you something I heard an attorney say once and why this is relevant, why what they're saying is so stupid. They said that if you go outside and everything's wet all of a sudden, it's reasonable to assume it rained, even if you didn't actually see it rain. Because everything else is so implausible, you can inevitably use deductive reasoning. 2 + 2 must equal 4. Like, you can't just say, well, maybe it's 5. These people are stupid.
A year, a question of belief?
Absolutely not.
Nobody recovers from fentanyl. You know that. When you overdose on
Absolutely not,
fentanyl,
and that is
you
devastated.
die.
And I've
You
met
die.
many families who have been devastated by it. However, we also have a process in this country for figuring out who the bad actors are.
And we figured it out. It's the 6 cartels and the 2 gangs that have caused 110,000
Which is understandable. I think
deaths
where
a year.
the tricky point is the evidence, which due process usually helps provide,
Why are
of
you
whether
talking as
or
if these
not.
are people who are
Because
U.S.
we don't
citizens?
know. Because we due process.
So you're defending members of FTOs.
I'm not defending
You are.
anybody.
No, what you're doing right now is you're sending designated terrorists should have the rights of somebody who's in a contractual dispute
I think that
with their neighbor.
transparency in why that designation is given to a certain person is important.
It's very easy what the transparency is. It's like a member of Al-Qaeda. If you're a member of Al-Qaeda, you're a terrorist.
How do you know if that they're members of these gangs? What I'm saying
is... You mean
is,
the tattoos MS-13 on their knuckles doesn't, that doesn't help it? Do you have tattoos of Al-Qaeda?
The tattoo did not say MS-13.
Wrist?
I don't want to get into that.
Oh, of course it does. It's just accidents that the four symbols represent the letters MS. See, this is why Politico is a joke. This is why you are gutter press and fake news. That those four symbols that just happen to comport with the letters MS and the numbers 13 don't, in this case, represent MS-13. You're sitting here live defending a member of MS-13. That's why I regret coming here, because this isn't journalism, this is protecting those who hate America. Shame on you. We are saving lives. Sir. Saving lives. How about Maryland fathers compared to Maryland mothers? Like Rachel Marin, mother of 5, raped and murdered and thrown in a ditch. How about Jocelyn Nungare, age 12, raped a mile from her home and thrown in a ditch? It's strange that Politico doesn't do articles about her, that mother, or that 12-year-old girl. Why is that? Why is the MS-13 guy with the knuckle tattoos more important in terms of due process than the lives of 12-year-old girls brutally raped? It's weird that the priorities shift to defending the member of an FTO, but not the children and the women. Dan Crenshaw told me a story once.
They don't have anything else. The administration doesn't have things going really wrong for it. The closest thing they got is the Signal Gate, which was also nothing. So they don't have nothing else. So they're making stuff up, just like how they made up Russia collusion. It's that simple.
16-year-old girl who was smuggled across this border. The parents paid $5,000 for her to live in America, the land of milk and honey. She ended up locked in a room in New York, raped by more than a dozen men every day for 18 months until she escaped. She went to Dan Crenshaw's office, and I'm no friend of Dan Crenshaw's, okay? He's still got TDS. And that girl said to him, please close the border so another girl doesn't have to be raped by 12 strange men every day for 18 months. It's strange that Politico doesn't cover those stories. Could you tell me why?
We have covered.
No, you haven't. You have not covered those stories. I'd like to see the Jocelyn Nungare, Rachel Marin stories in comparison to the Russia collusion garbage. I mean, let's be honest here.
Let's move on.
You have an agenda.
I
cooked. Man, look, put the freaking Crisco down, put the salt, the pepper, the jerk seasoning, the slap your mama down, okay? Put it down. Yes, slap your mama is an actual seasoning, guys. Please go to the grocery store and look for it. But guys, of course, the fake news journals, I'm glad that more people are being adversarial toward these people, because they're just saying so much stupid, dumb stuff that doesn't make any sense, and trying to paint these narratives as if Trump is doing something wrong by not giving the terrorists more of a chance for a rebuttal. Or what if they're trying to like find the worst case scenarios of things that haven't even happened, by the way. But what if they just accuse you of being a terrorist and that means they can just lock you up forever? No. First off, I'm an American citizen, right? You can have domestic terrorists and then they have to adjudicate things. But if you're a foreign person and you're a terrorist, why the hell do they have to adjudicate anything for you? You're not owed anything. You're not entitled to anything per the Constitution unless we're bringing you into our legal system in order to prosecute you criminally. Outside of that, you're not entitled to anything. Imagine being upgraded to this job as White House chief correspondent with Politico and then getting absolutely cooked. Get cooked, get wrecked. And I can't wait for more exposing of these people. Treat them adversarially. Make them not like their jobs. Make them miserable. And maybe you'll get some people who aren't as much a propagandist in there so that they can actually have a nice, real back and forth. Rather than these stupid talking points where they are extremely accusatory, not asking any real questions. They're basically just accusing the president consistently of wrongdoing, even though the courts, for example, have been agreeing with him on many things. Some things not, but some things they are agreeing with him on. Guys, do you think Gorka went too far here, or was he right on the money? Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching a Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
I mean, let's be honest here.
Let's move on.
You have an
because
agenda.